What's up? This is Alpha Giga Chad Jake Jones, here to talk about, well, I'll get to that in a second, but if you're like me, and you're sick and tired of playing the same rinky-dink comedy circuits and getting shafted by these elitist cliques who tell you what words you can and cannot say, well, I'll give you an example. Like the word cunt, right? It's an interesting word because it's one syllable, which isn't enough syllables to describe the evil of the I mean, they should really put it on a t-shirt, you know? Like in the, in the 90s, it's like, I want it to be like Mike. Instead, it's like, I want to be... And of course, you got Jerry fucking Seinfeld, cocksucking Seinfeld, talking about how cancel culture was so fucking, prevalent. And then he does a total 180. He does a total about face and then says, oh yeah, that was a troll. That was a con. That really wasn't even... I can't believe you sissy-ass comics even fell for that. And I'm literally like one of the most G-rated comics you can imagine. And I literally conned you into thinking that you couldn't say the N-word on stage. Okay, so anyway, this video is about how I made millions of dollars in comedy in just 5 easy steps. If I can do it, so can you. Let's get it. The first step to making millions of dollars in stand-up comedy: free writing. What do I mean by this? Well, for most people, unless you're Ted Kaczynski, and props to those folks, you're going to want to use technology, fucking Word doc, because it's really easy to get into this state, in this joyful state. Like I sound like one of those church folks that I'm just so filled with joy, and this is my job, is to just bring laughter to the people, to my peeps. You dig what I'm saying? And so this is why I said just disregard any fucking comic or crowd or sugar daddy who tries to tell you that, you gotta play ball, you gotta play by the rules. That's never been the case. Did Lenny Bruce play by the rules? No, he died of heroin like a fucking G. Bro, if you're still looking for a Netflix special, I mean, dude, do you think Netflix gives a shit? They will give you a fucking special just so your baby ass shuts the fuck up, you know? If you're just that desperate for a fucking Netflix special, you'll get one. Or do you actually want a fucking special that means something to you and is like valuable? I'm just doing a special right here off the cuff, motherfucker. I don't need no fucking lights, fancy lights in a crowd to fucking affirm me. That's just narcissist, bro. That's vain. That's lonely. It's probably going to happen regardless, even because I already made my millions of dollars in stand-up comedy, so it's like, what do I do with it? Well, do I just fucking throw it at strippers all day? I think not. I think I might want to get serious and get a 401k and an investment scheme. I'm like, damn, I am not selling myself on the dream right now. All right, step 2. I'm not going to erase this. I'll leave this up, but at the end of this video, I'm actually going to erase this step, and I'm going to tell you why. Where the fuck is my black marker? God fucking damn it! I got fucking 10 fucking Sharpies. It's good, but not a goddamn dry erase. I should use a fucking Sharpie just so you fucking assholes understand that these are rules. You see, there's fucking rules. There's a craft to this shit. Step 2. Transcribe. No, this is not your favorite porn genre, some of you out there. It's called transcribe. This is an old word that we don't use too often, but scribe obviously means write, and then trans implies a transition of power in the wordsmithing. You see what I'm saying? So, for example, I use my magic joke book. Let me go grab it real quick. Under a large stack of heavy bills, I just grabbed my magic joke book, okay? This is where I transcribe material from the Word doc into the book, and this is what you would call a set list. Let me give you my latest set list that I have. Autistic guys in grocery stores, Instagram confusion, working class Jones, mountain goat pussy. You may recall that's a title of one of my earlier videos. Door-to-door solar panels, Girl Scout cookies. Farmers still order Amazon. Ash Wednesday, Palestinian kids, killer deer, psycho killer deer. You see, these are all just wordsmithing and ideas, but they need to be fleshed out. So There's two ways of doing that. You either do it in the Word document, which is honestly distracting because I'm getting fucking Uncle Ted vibes coming on, like Ernest Hemingway, like go to a fucking cabin. Obviously, my goal is not to end up like Ernest Hemingway, but you know what I'm saying. It's like there's a fucking myth here that we gotta live up to. Otherwise, what's the point of any of this? It's all just ego and pretentiousness. Am I right? Okay, so that's step 2. And y'all are free to use as many of these steps in any order that you wish, or this is really just what works for me. This is my process. This is what works for me. So you guys can take it or leave it with a pound of salt, however you want to slice it, because you're already where you want to be. Autoerotic asphyxiation. This is how you write a joke, okay? No, I'm kidding. Obviously, that is not step 3. Although, I have heard that is one of the best ways to release tension in your life. Use an audio recorder. Norm Macdonald famously did this. If you've seen the movie Dirty Work, he basically gave you that tip as his process. Part of his process is he would use a tape recorder, which is what they used back then. I don't know what they used back in the Bob Hope days, a polygraph or some fucking shit. I don't know. But anyway, there's this app. There's all kinds of apps. I use sound recorder on my phone. You can use Parrot as well. So luckily, I've been making videos for a decade now. And so what this has allowed me to do is combine all those different styles, the visuals, and it has really given me an appreciation for editing. And once you get good at editing, man, you can get good at editing yourself. This is really the key to comedy. You're compressing time, and then you're expanding it with all of those tiny bits stacked together. And the more styles you can stack into a time span of about 10 to 15 seconds average per joke, the more you do that. All right, fellas, after a quick battery recharge, let us recap. Number 1, free writing. Word doc plus paper. Go as long as you need. Step 2, transcribe. Got your magic joke book. That's how I do it. Step 3, audio recording and editing. This is where step 4 comes into play, and this is more of a reiteration of step 3, but this is what I like to call marriage. This is not that floozy you met in Vegas on a winning streak. We're talking about styles here. We're talking about marriage. This is multimedia. You don't have to do all of this. You don't have to necessarily have a YouTube channel if you like performing that much. But eventually, here's what they're going to tell you. The industry players, they're all going to tell you, oh, bro, you have to go on Instagram. You have to go on Instagram. I don't have a fucking Instagram because fuck that shit. I don't want to be part of a sex trafficking circle. That's just me. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I guess maybe I'm a little moral sometimes. Do I need one more fucking account to log into to just suck my time away out of nature, when I could be going on a fucking 10-minute jog instead? Yeah, this is me taking shit seriously. You don't want to do that. That will fuck up your dream. Avocado toast. Step 5, rehearsal. Now, for this one, it's really everybody's own personal style, but I read something. Our last president, old JB, okay? Joe Biden, there's Joe Biden. Regardless of what you thought about him or his presidency or whatever, he said something that was really interesting. He said that when he used to have a stutter, Joe Biden, he used to have a stutter that would hold him back from public speaking. And I actually struggled with this at first as well, and I still do sometimes, and I use it for comic effect. But what Joe Biden did to overcome that was very interesting. First of all, he plagiarized his speeches, but that's whatever. All great artists steal, am I right? I believe Tarantino said that or some shit. But what he actually did to overcome his speech impediment was he would stand in front of the mirror every morning and he would recite poetry, like, Emily Dickinson or fucking Dr. Seuss or Eminem or whatever your favorite poet is. Really, my point is that you should be treating your material the exact same way. Your material should be at least aspiring to the level of poetry in the way it sounds. When you read a really good poem, you're like, damn, that's a really good fucking poem, man. That's like, there's a lot of thought put into that haiku, you dig? Or that drill rap, But the point is, man, it's got to be poetic so that it's pleasing to the ear on some level. This is getting back to point number 4. The reason you want, and number 3 as well, the reason you want these two emphasize this is the writing process, and this is the editing recording process, okay? Take notes, guys. If you're not taking notes, I'll come to your house with a Smith & Wesson, you feel me? Just a Smith & Wesson, yeah, like that's gonna do anything. You know what I mean, motherfucker. Alright, writing, editing, and recording. But the reason you want to record is because you can't just sit there with your piece of paper on stage. I mean, you can do this, but you're gonna flop most likely. You have the way it looks on paper, the joke, you say, oh wow, this is good. But if you don't say it, if it doesn't sound right coming out of your mouth, it's just going to come out like a garbled mess. Yeah, the rehearsal time, ideally, the rehearsal could actually take your material to a whole different level altogether, because you got to commit it to memory to the point where it's second nature. I'll write that down as well. You should be writing everything down if you really want this. But I assume if you're watching this video, you've already made it. And these are the 5 steps. You got your free writing, and these are in no particular order, by the way. You can mix and match these to your heart's delight. Free writing, transcribe, audio recording / editing. I use Splice, and I actually thought about doing an ad for that. Damn, I got to do an ad for that now. That was an idea, but that is an outstanding app that I have used for years for my content. It's on the go. It's quick. It's not confusing, very simple layout. I really like that, so shout out to whoever designed that app. I'm going to have to get in contact with them. You got your marriage of styles, and you got your rehearsal, which, stand in front of the mirror, make sure you feel like yourself, like what you see, and the words that are coming out of your mouth. And it's not just the words themselves, guys, because I curse a lot. I curse a lot on stage. I'm not a clean comic by any stretch of the imagination, but I try to give the words fuck and cunt and whatever other words I use a sort of rhythm and a harmony to them so that they no longer seem like dirty words. Have you noticed that? When you say things in a certain light, and depending on what culture you're in, it's no longer a dirty word. There are no bad words, guys. It's all in how you use them. So I hope you enjoyed this little spiel. If you'd like to work with me, my website is down below. That's all I got for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this content. We'll be back soon with more tips, tricks, and techniques only on Jake Jones Comedy. Peace, bitches.